If approved, Capital One's acquisition of Discover Financial would create the largest credit card issuer in the U.S. While officials are still investigating if the merger can go through, a possible deal could have big implications for credit card customers. So what happens when your credit card gets a new issuer? Here to break it down for us is Casey Bond, Yahoo Finance's lead editor and content strategist. She covers banking. So Casey, what happens here? And I have a vested interest in this because I am a Capital One credit card holder. So if this merger goes through, what does that mean for someone like me?
Yeah, so when your credit card is purchased or acquired by another company, that financial institution becomes your new credit card issuer. And in theory, this should be a fairly seamless transition. The new issuer will send you a new card with a new number, and that's the one that you're going to use going forward. However, there could be some significant changes to your new credit card account. It's important to note that the new issuer cannot raise the interest rate on your existing balance, but if you make new purchases on that card, they could potentially raise the rate. However, they do need to give you 45 days notice before that happens. Other significant changes to your account, such as the minimum payment, the fees involved, those also require 45 days notice before any changes can be made. As far as less significant changes, such as the rate at which you earn rewards, the new issuer can make changes to that at their discretion without notice. And it's also important to note that when you change issuers, there could be differences in where your card is accepted. For instance, American Express and Discover are typically less widely accepted than Visa and Mastercard. So that is definitely something important to keep in mind.
So if you're someone whose credit card may get a new issuer, what are some steps you can take now to make that transition easier?
Yeah, the first thing that you're going to want to do is make sure that you have a backup payment method, just in case there are any issues with that new card. So that might be a second credit card. If you don't have one, now might be a good time to consider opening one. Or alternatively, you could transfer some extra funds into your checking account and rely on that debit card, again, just in case there's any hiccups along the way in that transition. Another thing you want to do is download your statements and have those saved somewhere. You may lose access to that information once the new issuer takes over. So if you need your statements for tax purposes or budgeting, it's good to have those on hand. So make sure you save them. Another important step to take is to take a look at what rewards you've accumulated, if any. If you have cash back, points, miles, just make sure you know exactly how many you have, what they're worth, so that once you transfer over to the new card, you can make sure that those are still in place and accurate. If you have cash back rewards right now, consider maybe redeeming those ahead of the transition, just in case. And then once you have that card in hand, make sure that you go through and update all of your accounts, apps, digital wallets with that new card information. You want to make sure that you don't miss any payments and potentially get hit with late fees or even damage to your credit. And finally, make sure you review the terms and conditions of your new credit card account very carefully. In some cases, there may be benefits that are specific to a certain issuer that you could potentially lose in the transition, but there also may be benefits that you could gain. So make sure you really understand all of the perks of that new account and don't miss out on anything valuable that you may be offered.
Some important advice there. Casey Bond, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you.